Welcome to another episode of TVC Talk. Today, we're going to discuss how to raise your price by raising your value. So let's break it down. What is value?
It is what you bring to the table, how you're offering and exchanging service with your client and relationships. Honestly, everything boils down to some sort of...
You mean it's not just my video services?
Wouldn't that be nice, huh? No, it's how you act, it's client relations, it's your previous experience. These are all things that contribute to what we call the very generic word value.
I think as filmmakers, at least I know I do, and I still do, maybe not as much, but I still do, place value on the actual service of filmmaking. When in reality, the actual service of filmmaking is maybe 10% of the value that I bring to the table.
Oh, for sure. I mean, it's just like when we're on a film set or we're shooting, like the actual production part of any project is such a small piece of a much larger puzzle that is what we do for a living. I mean, you think about it. Prospecting clients, client meetings, setting up the contracts, your pre-production, the actual shooting creative part, and then post-production, and then the invoicing. So it's like business, which means relationships, client experience. We get to be creative, and then it's back to business, client relations, and client experience. The first step in anything is working with your ideal clients. Right? So finding your ideal clients. So in that context, when you're working with your ideal clients, then we go to the customer experience bit, right? And the value you provide that customer experience helps dictate price, because part of the value you bring is the client experience in which you provide them. Remember, clients need to trust that you can do the job. By providing that trust in the way you act, the way you dress, obviously previous experience in your portfolio and all that stuff, those things contribute to the value and the trust building that, when done properly, price is not the top thing on their list.
Because I think, you mentioned trust a lot, but it really comes down to we're problem solvers, right? We come in and we solve problems. And the more problems you can solve, especially the problems that nobody wants to solve, the more money you're going to make.
Well, let's even make it more general and generic. The fact that you're being hired to make a video is in and of itself solving a problem. If I'm the client, I'm like, well, I work in marketing and we're kickstarting a new product and we need to advertise it through video. I need to hire a video expert to create a video to sell this product. If I don't have the video, we can't sell it. That's a problem. We, as the video expert, come in and we say, not only will I make that video, I'm going to walk you through this process. I'm going to tell you what it's going to look like. I'm going to show you every step. I'm going to hold your hand from start to finish, building trust, bonding, relationship, client experience. Remember, you are in there to solve a problem. It's not just that we're problem solvers in the film set sense, which is most of our job, let's be honest, but the fact you're being hired at all, come into those client meetings, provide value by realizing and shifting your mindset into, my very presence in this company and in this relationship is to solve the problems that they're having, to make their lives easier. That is value.
And they want to know that they're going to hire somebody who's going to get the job done right the first time. And I know that seems very simple. You've probably heard that before. But in my experience, a lot of my clients have worked with filmmakers before who they just don't know how to communicate, or they just drop off the face of the earth and they never hear back from them. Or they're the ones always having to check in with them. If you can stay on top of your communication, if you can speak their language, always repeat back to them what they are asking you to do. Clarify.
For sure. I mean, communication in and of itself is, I think, one of the key ingredients to providing value. Constant communication. Remember, holding their hand, leading them. Clients want to be led. They want to trust you fully. So you need to come in there ready to serve them fully by leading and guiding them. Remember, you are the video expert. You're not just another freelancer or some service provider. You are a skilled craftsman of the art of filmmaking, and that's what they need you to be. So be that. And when you provide that level of value, your prices, you are validating your own prices.
Exactly, and that's all part of the user experience. And to kind of dive into some of that detail, it's like when you are meeting with a potential client, you should be the one telling them and dictating to them, okay, this is your deadline, here's the timeline of the entire project. This is how we're going to work, and this is how it's going to go.
For sure. Process. Like, have your processes lined up, so when you're going through the project, you have the process laid out for them. I mean, it's just like what we said earlier about listen to what they need, and based on their needs, build the process that fits what they need to solve their problem. And the better you can do that, the more efficiently you can do that, the more money you can make, and the more value you bring, which means the more money you can charge.
Exactly. Or to look at it another way, right? Think about, why are they going to hire you versus hiring an internal video person, right? Because you're probably going to be more expensive than if they just hired a full-time employee. So if you can answer that question, like what value do you bring that's above and beyond what a video person in-house as an employee can bring, then you'll win that gig every time, and it will rarely ever be about price, and it will almost always be about value.
So let's get a little tactical. How can you start adding more value right now to your clients?
Well, here's one way. Think about your process, specifically on the front end of you meet a potential client and you're trying to get them to become an actual client. Think about that process. Write it down. Literally make a checklist, make a bullet list. Just say, what do I do first? What do I do second? What do I do third? And create a process that you will use every time with a potential new client. Because then that's not only going to give you the confidence as a filmmaker, but that's going to give you a system that you don't have to think about every time you meet with a new client. And they're going to see it as, oh man, this guy or girl has their stuff together. They know what they're talking about. They're going to think you're not just some service provider, but you're a video expert leading them throughout the entire process.
Yeah, so that's great on the front end, but even taking it to the back end, how you provide value. Like once you complete a project, remember, mindset is so pivotal to the success in this business. Attitude of gratitude always. Send your client a thank you note. It takes like 10 minutes. You know, write it up. Handwritten is always better, but even just an email. Hey, it was so great working for you or working with you. It was so great working on this project, blah, 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 some things you loved. And send off that email or handwrite a card or send them a gift.
Yeah, something I like to do is like throughout the production, get to know them, figure out what they like. You know, I know a couple of my clients, they love wine, and so I'll send them a couple bottles of really nice wine at the end of a project.
That's true. You gotta remember, like your clients, they might look like companies, but companies are run by people, right? We're all still people. We're in a relationship-based business run by people. You work person to person. So remember to humanize these companies that you're doing this work for. Get to know your contact. Remember, they're a person too. They have likes, dislikes, interests. Get in touch with them. Keep that relationship strong. Express your attitude of gratitude. And man, you'd be surprised what kind of friendships, relationships, and work can bloom from that. Seriously.
Exactly. All right, I'll add one more real quick. Is that during production, think about how you can make your clients look even better in retrospect to their team, right? So whether that's you're in charge of the interview, send them a pre-interviewed guideline, you know, or what to expect for the interview. You know, and even in that, you can ask them like, hey, do you have any favorite drinks? Do you have anything that would make you feel comfortable? So when you get there, especially if you're interviewing executives or CEOs, all of a sudden you've come prepared with extra things that your client may not have even asked you to bring. But what that does, that's a reflection on him or her, your client. And so you're going to make them look better, and in turn, you're going to look better and increase your value.
Oh yeah, making them look good makes you look really good. I think the key takeaway from this video, if you learn nothing else, is this. They are hiring you. They are purchasing you. You are the product. And the more valuable you are to them, the more you can charge. So raise your value, raise your price.
Thanks for watching another episode of TVC Talk. If you like what you heard, hit that like button, hit the follow button, see more videos.
Hit the little bell, ring a ding ding, get the notifications whenever we release.
Exactly. We'll catch you next time.
Yeah, bye.